Hey everyone, it's Alexi Uzas here from Exile Entertainment. In this video, I'm going to give you a final checklist that you should use before deciding to produce a feature film. Now, before I start this video, I want to let you know that spots are available for our Producing Accelerator program that helps filmmakers like you consistently finance and produce your films. So if you're interested in learning more about that program, stick around until the end of this video. And for the best filmmaking advice, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell to be notified when we post a video. Okay, so let's get into it. Number one on the list is to make sure that you have the best team in place. You will have heard me talk about having a core team of at least 3 people who are passionate, dedicated, committed to making the project. So it should be you and 2 other people. Can be any crew role, could be producer, director, DP, production designer, anyone, as long as there are 3 people who are absolutely as committed, driven to make the film happen. With those people, it's important that they are pragmatic. So that means that they're going to be able to come up with practical solutions to problems. The reason that's important is because when you're making a feature film, there are so many problems that come up consistently that are coming up on the fly, and you have to make decisions really quickly. And so making sure that you're working with people that are pragmatic, that are going to be able to come up with solutions to these problems to get the film, to get what you need for the film, is really important. So having that core team, that's absolutely number one on the checklist, and making sure that they're pragmatic, that they're going to be, that they are people actually that are accountable. This is something that you can actually test as well. So the way that I actually think is a really good way to do this is when you find team members, set tasks and set really hard deadlines, and then see who actually meets those deadlines. And if people meet those deadlines, then you know that you have someone who is accountable. If you have someone that's not meeting those deadlines really early on, then that's absolutely a red flag. Having people that are accountable, that are pragmatic, and that are driven and as committed as you are is really important. So yeah, I highly recommend using that kind of trick to really test people's accountability early on. It's something that I found really helpful and can be a bit of an eye-opener with certain people. Number 2 on the list is to make sure that you have a project that's achievable. So what I mean is that you're going to actually be able to finance, produce, and finish that project. The best way to know if a feature film is achievable is to know your finance plan. To have a finance plan, but B, to know it intricately, and to know that you're going to be able to raise those items of finance that you've put into your finance plan. This is so important because the last thing that you want to do is spend days, weeks, months, sometimes even years for certain people developing a project, or even trying to finance a project that actually had no chance of getting financed and into production in the first place. So that's absolutely number 2. You need to know that the film can get financed. The best way to do that is to have a finance plan that's achievable. So that is really vital. It's one of the first things that I do when considering whether I'm going to board a project. It's to look at the finance plan and look at whether I think that we can actually raise the level of finance needed to make the film. Number 4 on the checklist is to make sure that you have mentors and allies that you've surrounded yourself with that can help you through the entire production process. So some really good allies could be lawyers, accountants, more experienced producers or EPs, people that you can surround yourself with that are constantly exposed to the filmmaking process, who have either been through the process themselves or have helped shepherd people through the process. These are the types of people that you want to surround yourself with as early on in the process as possible, so that you can ensure that you have access to high quality advice when you need it. You never know at which stage of the production process you're going to need to pick someone's brain, or you're going to need to pick up the call, pick up the phone and make an emergency call to get some advice from someone about something that's happening on the film. Particularly if it's your first film, then you've never been through that process before, so you don't know what the pitfalls are. But even when you're on your next films, or if you're growing a production company, having those mentors around is absolutely important. So make sure that's on your checklist going into a film, knowing that you have those allies at hand if you need them. The last thing on the checklist is to make sure that you have something to say. This is really important because making a feature film is so difficult. Raising finance for it is extremely hard. Going through the process is hard. If you're producing the film, you're taking on all the risk and all the responsibility. All the decision making has to, rests with you. And so knowing that you have something to say, something important to say, is really, I think, is vital to the process, because it helps you get through those difficult times. What you have to say is going to be absolutely unique to you, and it doesn't have to be some grand, statement or some socially important statement, but having something to say as an artist, having something to say as a filmmaker, and then of course having something to say even just as a producer, right? Knowing that the film is trying to say something, is trying to convey some type of message is really important. And having that message aligned with your own values and what you want to achieve as a filmmaker, as a producer, is really important. Really, when it comes to the most difficult films that I've produced, the only reason that I've been able to do those is because I've been connected to what the filmmaker is trying to say and what the message of that film is. So that's something that is really important. Having something to say, it's going to allow you to get through the difficult times. It's going to allow you to overcome those obstacles and those challenges. And it can also help you galvanize your team around this vision, around, the ultimate aim or the ultimate goal of that project. So that's it for the checklist. And that's it for this video. So if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and leave some comments in the comments section below, and let me know if there are any other items on your checklist that we haven't covered in this video. Now, if you are interested in finalizing that checklist and getting your feature film financed and into production, and if you're looking to work with a company to help you do that, then I encourage you to follow the link in the description of this video, and you'll be able to set up a time to speak with either me or a member of my team at Exile, and we'll be speaking with you about whether we can help you get your film financed and into production. And as always, check out these videos next on how to up your filmmaking game.